An open-air exhibition is held in Sydney Domain by the Society of Sculptors. Native in plaster and iron for final copper is by famous Australian sculptor Lyndon Dadswell. Dadswell himself left with Owen Broughton. Figure in concrete by Anita Ahrens. The work is almost all in the modernist style, and some of it caused puzzled head-scratching among onlookers. Construction is a design in iron by Robert Capel. Abstract in concrete. The layman, perhaps it's difficult to imagine the abstract in concrete form. Olaf Richmond offers in sandstone Reclining Woman. The exhibition is sponsored by the Jubilee Arts Subcommittee. Some of the citizenry were bewildered by it all. This piece, called Balancing Boulder by Alison Duff, is priced at 250 guineas. Youth was frankly a little stunned, but it's not for any man to condemn art merely because he doesn't understand it. Mother and Child by Leonard Chilham is robust. They're both doing well, we should say. Western Australia's new governor, Sir Charles Henry Gairdner, with Lady Gairdner, arrives at Victoria Quay Fremantle aboard RMS Stratheden. The vice-regal party were met aboard by Premier McClarty and Mrs. McClarty, who precede them ashore. After inspecting the Naval Guard, Sir Charles left for Perth to be formally sworn in as His Majesty's representative. General Bridgeford, former GOC Eastern Command, is to replace Lieutenant General Sir Horace Robertson as Commander-in-Chief BCOF in Korea and Japan. A guard from the 19th National Service Training Battalion is at Kingsford Smith Airport, Sydney, in recognition of General Bridgeford's interest in launching the national training scheme in the state. General Bridgeford takes up his duties immediately. Two Lockheed Neptune long-range bombers purchased in the United States for the Royal Australian Air Force arrive at Richmond Aerodrome in a terrific dust storm. The planes make hazardous landings and are barely visible in the swirling dust as they taxi up to the hangars. The dust, driven by a 40-mile-per-hour wind, has stripped the varnish from the plane's propellers. The Neptunes are the first of 12 ordered by the government to re-equip the Royal Australian Air Force. Wing Commander D. Vernon of Lane Cove, Sydney, piloted one of the Lockheeds. He is met by his wife and 11-year-old daughter. Air Vice Marshal Macaulay and Group Captain Davis, CO at Richmond. The bombers, which will be based on Pearce, Western Australia, are said to have a range of 8,000 miles.
"230,000 people watch Adelaide's Jubilee just around the corner. The kiddies, bless them, don't need reminding. The Fairy Queen's there, just as popular with the children as that other rider, Neville Selwood, is with Dad. There are 86 floats and sets, and the procession, with 1,300 people taking part, is nearly a mile long. A golden swan is a reminder to Dad that when it comes to asking little Tommy what he wants for Christmas, don't stick your neck out. And girls add a glamorous touch from real life. With Australia looking to her defences, there are naval floats to appeal to the youngsters, models of fighting ships that would make any young lad yearn for the life at sea. The Army's represented, marching with a precision that is by now traditional, and the Air Force has a float too, a grim reminder that though we still like fairy book characters, there's a note of realism that mustn't be forgotten. And finally, Santa himself, riding with Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer high above the housetops, like price levels. Adelaide looks forward to a Merry Christmas, welcoming Santa with its biggest procession ever.
The ghost ship Joy Eater, the Marie Celeste of 1955. The 70-ton island trader has been towed to Malau, Fijian Islands, after she was found abandoned 300 miles away. Divers go over the side to try to solve the riddle of why the 25 passengers and crew left the ship in mid-Pacific and how Joy Eater was damaged. From the flooded ship itself come up grim relics, including this clock, which may set the time when the mysterious disaster occurred. What struck the Joy Eater? Water spout? Another ship? Were the crew washed over, or did they abandon ship? Are they dead, or have they reached the refuge of some small uninhabited island? These are the questions to which so far there are no answers. Joy Eater left Apia, Samoa, on October the 3rd on a 3-day trip to Tokelau and was found a partial wreck 5 weeks later. Now pumped dry, she is in Malau Harbour. damaged superstructure and railing at first suggested a collision with another ship. Now, Fiji government experts believe that a huge waterspout overwhelmed her. Others have advanced theories of piracy, even murder, but the holds are still full of food. There is no evidence of looting, and there are no signs of violence to the crew. What is the mystery of Joyita? Why was no warning of her difficulty received from her radio? Why was one seacock opened and her deck cargo of timber and oil drums gone? Sea and air searches are continuing for the crew and the passengers, who included some government officials. For unless they are found, no one may ever know the answer to the riddle of Joyita, the 20th century ghost ship. Professor Rubo and his assistant, Miss Janice Edgar, in the School of Bacteriology at Melbourne University. The professor and Sydney research scientist, Dr. Zimmerman Craig, have discovered a new drug which may be the answer to TB. The drug has been called Virazide, and results on guinea pigs have been truly spectacular. But much more testing and research will be necessary before it is administered to humans. Virazide can be fed through the mouth, injected, or even given with food. It is a non-toxic, completely harmless white powder. Serious lack of funds has hampered research, but now that the discovery is showing such impressive early results, this deficiency seems likely to be soon remedied. The doctors refused to patent it and made the formula available to world scientists. This guinea pig, injected with live human TB bacilli, has tubercular ulcers showing on its shaven back. After one dose, 75% of the infected animals were cured. All were cured after 3 doses. This one, for instance, completely healthy, with only tiny scars showing. Dr. Rubo and his assistant have taken constant personal risk in handling the TB bacillus. In Sydney, Dr. Zimmerman Craig of Sydney University shares honours equally with Professor Rubo. He says Virazide is 3 or 4 times as potent as previously known anti-TB drugs. The co-discoverers are confident but urge caution. Time and testing will prove whether the TB scourge is to be defeated.